and play WoW. Not to say that I'm not comfortable here. I'm fairly comfortable. Um, but the idea of being able to just hop on the PlayStation, do my thing, and also I know that I have a brother who just says he can't wrap his mind around mouse and keyboard. He just can't do it. And he's about to do his own. He might try to do the port thing himself. So we'll see. I don't know why it said all of a sudden my viewer count dropped, but I don't have anybody watching no ways. It's okay though. I do this shit for myself, not for anybody else. I'd love to have people come and hang out though, play the game with. Great. May take a little break here shortly. I think that my puppy dogs want to go outside. See, I try to finish off this level. I mean, you guys can see like how fast you grinding is actually very, very, very. It's a big part of classic, man. It is a thing. It's unfortunate. I don't think anybody likes to do it, but you kind of have to, man. You kind of have to because you have these different um, marks that you have to meet, and sometimes you just got to grind to the next level, man. And then once you hit that next level, well, then you can pick up more quests and you can do whatever. You could go to the next zone. So like for me right now, man, I have quests sending me over to the Barrens, but I don't want to go to the Barrens because I'm not high enough level. I know what mobs are over there. I don't feel like dying to some fucking plane strider in the Barrens because I wasn't patient enough to just grind for a couple levels. And it's not even a waste of my time. I'm getting cloth. I'm getting money. Um, I'm still leveling. 71 XP a kill is not terrible. I kill stuff very fast. Every 10 mobs is a quest. It's 700 XP, right? I think I can kill 10 mobs faster than I can go do a quest. And I'm just running in a circle. But anyways, yeah, we need not only do we need WoW 2.0, man, but we need it ported on console. We have the ability to do it. People have already been doing it. Um, and you could call it WoW Classic Plus, like just like the idea that's being presented to us right now, WoW 2.0, WoW Classic Plus. But just make sure that you have that added benefit. You'll reach more of an audience. More people will come to this game if it's on console. I promise. A lot more people would go, I've always wanted to try WoW, and now I can just play it on PlayStation. I don't have to buy a $1,200 PC. Cool. Right? You can have your next gen version, you can have your regular PS4 version, but you're going to cast such a wide net if you do that. And I think it's going to happen. I think that they were already implementing things in the background in Dragonflight. I think they're trying to get it to where you could port over to console or at least have the ability to play with a controller. even if you're on PC. Like, I think that that might be a thing too. But we shall see. Oh, buddy. He's about ready to go outside, I think. They usually come over and get my attention. Like, hey, Dad, come on. I want to go pee. Let's see. So just kill the thing and then worry about this guy. And double linen cloth drops, man, it's so wonderful. Love it when that happens. Warlocks are cool, man. And something so simple. Um, you can't die. Don't die. Play the game. Be smart. Don't die. And it changes the whole play style. It changes the whole feel of the game. Most of the time when you play WoW, the game really doesn't start until you hit max level, right? And then the grind begins. So not only did you have to level through content, you're like, okay, yeah, we got it. Did a couple dungeons, we did this, we did that, we did whatever. But the game doesn't really start until you're at max level. Now you can raid, now you can grind your honor gear, now you can do your PvP and get your arena rewards and be a gladiator and do all the fucking things that you want to do. But the game doesn't start until max level. Well, now the content is the leveling. You see, that's where we're at. I need to actually dot these fucking things up. I mean, this just showing you the power of the Warlock right here. Like 3 mobs, no problem, no issue. Not even a thing. Like just absolutely wrecked. Okay, now we need to back up. I think we're still okay here. Eat this. Like we just challenged 5 mobs. Like, and look, I could even play this better. Like I could just dot this guy up and fear him. Like, now he's gone. Oh, pulled one more. 6 mobs. Okay, we just won this guy. Gotta turn around and run away. Turn back over here. Won this guy. He's getting ready to turn around and run away. Good night. That right there was awesome. Right? That something so simple, man. Warlocks are powerful, bro. If I'd have been on my hunter, we'd have had an issue there. I'd have had to run away. Just play it smart. That was cool. Oh look, and I get rewarded with a chest. I pulled them all. I'm gonna ding here very shortly. Well, give me something good. Nothing. I have not had any luck out of these chests so far. I haven't had anything good. Not that I can remember. Ding. Okay. Now we'll go take a little break. Getting close to having that instacast corruption. Should be good. That'll be fun. And then level 12, we need to go see the Warlock trainer. See what new abilities we have. So I'm sure we're going to get something worthwhile. I just can't wait to get Drain Life. I don't know what level we get it at. Then you could do some cool shit. You never run out of mana. Life tap, drain life. Just have to be careful with life tap. For the simple fact that it's hardcore, man, and you could life tap. You can actually life tap yourself to death. Got another 32 cloth here. Come over here. Let's sell off some junk. Right. So I think we left org with about 7 silver. Now we're at 31. It's going to suck, though, because we're getting ready to do some training. Curse of weakness we don't need. Health funnel. Yeah, we need health funnel. Shadow bolt, not using it. Is that the only thing that we get, man? When do we get drain life, bro? Where you at? Drain life. Oh, we get you at 14. Okay. So you're gonna get upgraded corruption and then drain life. Drain life happens at 14. Okay. Demon trainer. Phase shift. Huh. So I don't think that we're going to be using the imp very much anymore. When I get back, we're going to finish this video. Yeah, I need to get up and walk around. Look how much... Gosh, dude. Oh, it's so hard to keep money in this game. I'm back down to 25 silver, bro. Training shit is so expensive. This is classic though. I mean this is the experience right here. And it's good. It's always been good, man. It's a good game. In my opinion, it's one of the best games ever created. Who else can capture an audience for 20 years, man? Keep it and keep it somewhat relevant. And I know people fucking bitch, whine, and complain like this, that, and everything else, man. But at the end of the day, dude, like it's a good game. And a lot of you guys that are bitching, whining, complaining, you good motherfuckers play. So cool you jets, bro. Stop all you belly aching. We'll take like a 10-minute break. I'll be back. I'll see ya. Watch out, baby. Ooh, I almost got your tail, honey. Hi. Hi. You ready to go? Yeah. I know. Be right back. Take the dogs out. Hey, chill. Just in case anybody comes to the stream, which I know they won't. Be right back. Come on. All right, stream. Bear with me. I'll be right back. Went to go try to buy something, and I'll be back. Anyways. All right, folks. Sorry about that. If anybody tuned in, I wasn't here. My fault. Hey, leave me alone. I was gone for 2 seconds, guys. No, not really. I'm gone for a little bit longer than that. All right, I'm back. I went to a new place. Called the Coffee Box. Got me a coffee and send it. We're gonna see what's up with this. Big old bagel sandwich, sausage, cheese, everything bagel. Oh man, look at that. Now that's a breakfast sandwich, sir. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's up right there. All right. While I eat, we'll play a YouTube video. How about that? All right. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm like, you better get up on my food, dog. I'm gonna keep playing this one.
Making World of Warcraft 2, whilst giving people a glimpse of it. Since WoW was released in 2004, it's had an ungodly amount of updates and expansions. Some pleasant, some vilified, and some people that initially hated it back in the day now reminisce about it fondly as if they weren't raging in the forums back then. Yet people keep wanting to go back to the roots of WoW because they miss the nostalgia, the community, the simplicity, and the lore. For a large portion of people who actively play WoW or consume WoW content, most of us have been playing since we were kids or teenagers. We have incredible memories and we want to relive those memories. Now this isn't a nostalgia bait video, I've done that already, twice in fact. Just like every other WoW content creator. But nostalgia plays a part in why people like Classic WoW, and that's why Classic Plus would be a huge boon to the game. Because you'd get to create new memories, exploring and discovering the world of Classic with new features, raids, content, and more. And it would give guilds a reason to be active, and not just be raid loggers waiting for the next raid. Imagine the excitement of new farm locations, discovering secrets out in the open world, some full PvP zones, and more things for players to sink their teeth into. Or I'd hope so at least. Maybe people would be less antisocial with these changes. If you want to play a single player MMO, just play Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. They could also make the game more difficult, give harder difficulties to classic raids, add new mechanics to Molten Core for example. WoW has gotten far more challenging over the years, but the challenge isn't necessarily good or fun. If you've done Mythic Plus or Mythic raiding in retail, you can understand what I'm saying. I was never really savvy enough to go balls to the walls with it, but pointlessly complex mechanics to counteract the powerful add-ons isn't exactly the definition of fun. They could add difficulty that was less reliant on dodge the 55 missiles coming out of Ragnaros' booty hole and avoid his cock slam that happens exactly every 3.4 seconds, and if one person gets hit, you all die. And instead they could add more adds, a few more phases, heck, even add cooler music to get your blood pumping. Listen to this Final Fantasy XIV OST right here. Look, I'm not a content designer. I don't know how hard or easy it is to design content. I'm just saying difficulty should be more about a challenge and not calculating the trajectory and location of where the US military will firebomb the Middle East. And tying back into what I said about the game above, people love Classic and by extension Classic Plus because of the simplicity of the game. After almost 2 decades of bloat, retail feels like it's limping along, patching its cuts, its bruises, and its wounds rather than actively taking care of the core issues. Classic didn't have all that excess bloat, and Classic Plus could improve and add on to the simple features that made Classic, with things like more quest lines and chains for unique rewards, an improvement on the talents in the game, and a mild class and talent revamp for the more useless classes. For example, Shadow Priest not being as poorly designed as it is, or Prop Paladin being a tank and guess what? Actually having a taunt. Throw in more races that people actually want, like ogres and high elves, cross-faction guild and grouping so that whilst the PvP sweatlords battle it out orc versus human, me on the other hand can go on a picnic with an orc and a human. Whether PvP stays separate or not is a different question, the balance team will have to figure that one out. But PvE has no reason to be kept separate. Add in reputations to grind and have more systems tied to it. Let me grind some useless reputation like Zug Zug's Premier Fishing and have the exalted reward be a club that you fish with. Add way more dungeons, more places to explore and discover, interesting farming spots like Grimvatol, Stratholm proper, Ruins of Hyjal, Oralis and Gilneas. Design and expand on the classic PvP system, just make it better than what it is but keep it unique in the way that it was. But most of all, more important than anything else I just listed, is going back to the beginning with the lore, before we as the players were champions of Azeroth, protectors of the galaxy, defeater of the Burning Legion, master of insert class here, killer of God, and back to when we were just simple adventurers exploring, discovering, and banding together in the hundreds to defeat major villains. Maybe this way they won't write themselves into a corner with bigger and badder villains each expansion, because they wouldn't need a reason to keep creating stronger villains if we as the players stayed as adventurers. And this way the lore would not be molested as horribly as the writers have done over the course of 2 decades. We have 2-bit Thanos, Sylvanas being morally grey, Tyrande being made useless as a plot device, Vol'jin dying for no goddamn reason at all, hashtag Garrosh did nothing wrong, Thrall becoming Thrawler, and more things to count. I don't have the time to list every major grievance I have with the lore, because holy fuck do I have so many. Also, if Anduin is going to be gay with Rathian, just make them gay. What's with the teasing? I'm not gay for wanting that, but like goddamn, kiss already. But at least with Classic Plus, if they do decide to ruin the story a completely unique second time, they might not ruin my favorite characters this time. Then we have customization and player creativity, which has been expanded upon but stifled all the same. 20 years of gameplay and no player housing. We got garrisons which then promptly got abandoned. Why can't my orc have a farm in Durotar so I can farm turnips and pigs? Why can't my human have a little countryside manor in Alwyn Forest where I refuse to pay the peasants a fair wage and further bolster the Defias Brotherhood's numbers? What about if my orc wants a countryside manor in Alwyn Forest? Think about the inclusivity. And honestly, player housing should have been in retail a decade ago, but for some reason, we as players aren't allowed to have homes and are forced to rent forever. Champion of Azeroth, but you're homeless. Interesting. We don't even have guild halls. Imagine the community benefits of having a guild hall. Hanging up Onyxia's her head on the wall, Ragnaros's hammer, Kalthazard's phylactery. You could showcase your guild's achievements, have a place for people to meet, a more unique place to jump around mentally AFK whilst you wait for someone to log on and start something. Imagine having an awesome castle in Redridge where all of your guildies group up, discuss business, plan activities, and more. They could make the world 100 times more active by having player housing instances scattered throughout the world. Throw in a guild housing place in Alwyn, throw one in Durotar, throw one across the world so people have to go to their guild housing location. Imagine customizing your farm or your guild hall with random decorations, or your GM stealing the guild bank being your GM actually stealing the guild bank because he stole the whole goddamn castle by kicking everyone out of the guild. Imagine all the drama videos. My GM stole our castle? But in all honesty, the innovation needed to make Classic Plus good is far less than the innovation needed to make World of Warcraft 2. The effort is far less, but it would create such a happy community and would give people so much more desire to return to the game and keep playing. Blizzard already knows everything the players want. Just look at all the private servers. Tack on a hardcore option or a hardcore server, give people some unique stuff for completing pointless challenges, and let people create their own fun and activities. Vanilla was fun because we created the adventure we wanted to experience, and whilst Classic imitated that really well, in my personal opinion, the only way to get that feeling back is Classic Plus. Or WoW 2. I will never say no to World of Warcraft 2, but I just don't see how WoW 2 would even be feasible. It would be a Herculean effort, but it would honestly be one of the most defining moments in gaming history if Blizzard did undertake the task of creating WoW 2. I always like to imagine a world with such a game, all the features, all the things in it. But I don't have to because the Riot MMO is a few years out and I'm sure that'll essentially be WoW 2. Regardless, players are drawn to the game's sense of nostalgia, community, difficulty by design, simplicity, and lore. Classic Plus offers that to us by simply being a revamp and continuation of the vanilla and classic experience, and allows us to relive the early days of WoW, but in a more modern way, with features and designs that would be beneficial to the player base. And maybe potentially a graphical update. Potentially if Blizzard is willing to try to spend the time and money. But that's why I think WoW Classic Plus is the future of World of Warcraft. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you hated the video, subscribe so you can hate my next video too. Also, watch this video right here if you want to see me rant about Amazon games. Thank you, Ebonhard out.
Oh, I had these backwards. That's what was going
I remember Bellior said this, and I agreed with him a lot, is that WoW 2, like, WoW 1 was like vanilla to Wrath, and WoW 2 was Cataclysm to WoD, and then WoW 3 was, I would say...
We just watched that one. There was...
Have you dreamed about...
Right here.
We are outside one of our clients' house. We did an outdoor kitchen for them using the RTA design tool and
Classic Plus has more problems than you think.
As we progress through Wrath Classic, I can't help but notice a rise in interest for the vanilla version of the
We
game
just saw
beginning
that.
to grow within the player base.
Just like
I
the
think
original.
a lot of players would happily jump back to
So, to talk about the first video there, I would have to say I 100% agree that the game needs a revamp. A lot of the reasons that were discussed, I totally agree with. Game's overly complicated. We have these hard mode dungeons with Mythic Plus, and you can climb and do ever greater difficulty and just all this fluff, right? PvP is outrageous. I think PvP, and I might get a lot of flack for having this opinion, but I think PvP is harder than PvE, man. There are so many spells and abilities and micro CCs and long chain CCs, and I mean, you can get completely shut down sometimes by certain classes, which I guess has always been a thing. Like, rogues were incredibly powerful in Classic. You could stun lock the hell out of you. Those things have always been around. I think it would be really cool to have Classic Arena. That would be very interesting. There wasn't as many CCs in Classic, and not every class has... I'm trying to think. Not every class has a CC. Some simple changes like letting hunters trap in combat would be a really welcome change. You could take some aspects of the retail game and you could implement it into a new classic version, right? This whole Classic Plus idea. So we take things from retail that maybe should have been implemented in the game and implement them. You could make Molten Core a little bit more interesting. Not saying that it has to be a hard mode dungeon, right? It still needs to be the very first raid tier. It needs to be easy. But maybe it could be just a tiny bit more interesting. I think it's fine, actually, the way that it is. Raids were designed around 40 people, and about 20 of them actually knowing what the hell's going on, 15 to 20 of them knowing what's going on, and everybody else just kind of pressing buttons and doing random shit, right? I saw plenty of people wearing fishing hats and fishing poles during raids, and being totally successful. So it wasn't a huge challenge. It was fun. It was incredible. I have some very fond memories of doing Molten Core, doing Onyxia's Lair. Didn't really get into BWL so much. We did a little AQ, but never made it to Nax. Never even got close to Tier 3 content. We were not a cutting-edge guild by any stretch of the means, but I had a lot of fun. And it was a good time. We really took off with our rating thing when BC came out. That was hella fun. And I've rated in several other tiers. Let's see, what was the last? Warlords of Draenor, I think, was probably the last X-Pack that I actually did some raiding. I was actually a Resto Druid. That was hella fun. I remember us killing Black Hand and shit in Blackrock Foundry. Good times, man. Very, 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 very good times. There's a lot of good things that have happened over the years, and a lot of things not very well received. Blizzard always tried to be innovative. They did a really good job. I didn't play much in Legion. A lot of people hail that as one of the best expansion packs that WoW ever had. I got into gold farming a lot in BFA, so I had a lot of fun with that. Still wasn't very good at it, but you know, it's content, man. Nevertheless, it kept me interested. I played the game, right? I didn't do anything crazy, but I did play the game. Eventually, I got into PvP in Shadowlands. Colin and I got into the twos arena, which is god awful. I don't recommend anybody ever play twos. It's fucking terrible. We've never been able to find a comp that we could really be successful with. But you know, neither of us are good healers. I'm a halfway decent tank. Mediocre DPS. I mean, like I said, man, there's just too many buttons, too overly complicated. It's really harder than it needs to be. It's still fun, and even though I'm not necessarily playing optimally, I do have some success. I have a tune that's fully conquested out, and that's good. I actually have a bunch of conquest boxes that I need to open on a tune so I can give them some gear. I was halfway considering a mage, maybe a priest. I don't know. Mage could be a good alt to have. They're usually very effective in the arena. I just would have to learn how to play one. But that's kind of the fun of retail. It's very easy to get a tune, get them geared, and get in there and do the content. I love the PvPing in Dragonflight. It's hard, but the gearing process is correct. Once you have your gear, and then you just grind rating, right? And then it's all skill based after that, which is cool. That's how it should be, right? There was a lot of problems with gear being tucked away behind a rating scheme and everyone just pushing for a particular rating. Maybe that made it more interesting for the guys at the top because they could get the glad weapon and they could do those things because they could get to 2400, but I can't. I had trouble just breaking 1550, which we finally did, and immediately went down in rating. So two's bracket is terrible. I don't recommend anybody play it, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The resources that you have, the people that you can play with. I mean, if we could find a third, I'm sure Colin and I would participate in regular 3v3 content, which is what the game is based around in the first place, and probably find ourselves having much more success. There is an elite here, man. What in the world? How cool. He's an actual elite. I don't know if I'm going to be able to kill him. Oh, I don't know, man. This could turn out bad. Maybe. Can I fear you? Oh, yeah. If I can fear you, I can kill you. Cool. Look at that, boys. Killed an elite. Wow, he gave us nothing. There was nothing for that extra effort. What the hell? That sucks. Guy gave me some fucking leather bands that I can't even wear. Ooh, that's purple. Like it. All right. Well, that was fun. We killed the elite. Hi. Just grinding. I don't want to. I don't want to play with you. Sorry. Barbaric cloth cloak, eh? What's that one look like? Yellow. Hmm. Oh, this one has the most armor. By 1 point. It says that you can transfer to classic era, which might be an option. My 60s all have decent gear. What is this guy talking about? 60s? How can you have 60s? People absolutely no life in the game, or what's going on here? Maybe he's talking about he's got 60s on classic era. Hmm. And there's, I mean, in retail, I'm complaining that we don't have anybody to play with, but let's be real. I'm not really reaching out to anyone either. I have a guild. Do you think that maybe I might try to invite people to the guild? That could help the situation. But I don't. And again, it's just because I have time to do what I have time to do. I don't have time to be managing a guild and trying to organize shit. I would love have a couple more players to play with. That would be really good. And also, it could help me with the whole streaming thing. To have a little community built. One of the things I told Kyle about the hardcore server is that I think that maybe we should start our own guild. And that could be neat. I do have a couple days where, I really don't have anything pressing me and I could just sit here and play. Today being one of them. Just chill out, play the game. I've had a serious urge and I've kind of messed up. Smoking a couple cigars. And I really, really, really had the urge to smoke today, and I really didn't want to. So I went and bought a new tank for a vape. And this seems to be doing the trick. So my apologies if that offends anybody by me vaping, but I had to, man. I've been under a lot of stress lately, and my body's letting me know. I just have this ungodly urge to smoke. So rather than keep disappointing my family, I just pick up the vape for a little bit till I can get it back under control. I had quit doing everything for a good long while, and now I'm an idiot and started back. But it's all good. Oh my gosh. I didn't see this guy. I didn't see him. There. You can get some of this loot, bruh. There we go. A lot of people coming over here to quest. I'm being that guy. Just killing all the mobs. I have no business being over here. I'm just grinding. Just grinding. But this Warlock is super fun. I'm really enjoying it. I try to get to 14 as quickly as possible. I think once I get Drain Life, we're really going to be taking off. This is the beauty of Classic, man. Simplicity. Slowing everything down. Slow it down. I've had a issue when it comes to smoking basically my whole adult life. With dip and snuff too. I really don't want to go back to doing that ever. Let's see if this vaping thing can keep it under control. It did for years, and as a matter of fact, I mean, there was a time there where I was vaping just to vape. There wasn't even no nicotine in it. I put just a tiny bit in this go. I want that chest. I want that chest. I want that chest. I want that chest. I want the chest. It's gonna come. Of course. My chest. I did kill the rare. Nothing good. I've yet to get anything good out of chest. Let's see. Where are we at? 30%, 32%. So in that video, we kind of discussed and went over the need for a WoW 2 or Classic Plus. We're going to watch a video here in a second that is entitled The Problem with Classic Plus. Asmongold is going to be commenting over the top of this, but I'd like to see what it is. This says Classic Plus has more problems than you think. All right, so we're going to watch this.
To a vanilla version of the game, given good timing and a concept which looks promising.
Yeah.
But as usual, Blizzard holds all the cards here. And of course it's worth a mention, we don't know what's after Seasonal Mastery right now, and Classic Plus is totally just a community wish at this point in time. Yet while
That's how
Seasonal
Classic
Mastery is
started,
soon to wind up, we can't help but ask, what's next? Another season with more new ideas, a no changes fresh, or perhaps something much more ambitious? Since the early days of Classic, players have speculated what will come when the final boss of the expansion falls over, and everyone is there in their near-abyss gear twiddling their thumbs waiting for the next big content patch to drop. One of those ideas has always been Classic Plus, an unofficial term from the players, broadly meaning Classic, but instead of expansions to move us forwards into TBC and beyond, there are new major content patches added instead, or just
Yeah, I think major content patches and then also raids that might give slightly better gear. It's actually easier to make better classic gear than like better retail WoW gear, because you're dealing with a lot of cases just with percentages. Like 1% crit is 1% crit. 2% is 2%.
To the game in the spirit of Classic. What if we never crossed the Dark Portal? What if there were new raids or new dungeons and anything else you can think of? After all, we have retail, we have Classic WoW as it currently is, which is chugging along through the expansions. Give it 18 more months from now and we'll be in Cataclysm Classic, I expect. Vanilla ran its course faster than it did originally, so did TBC by some 6 months, and Wrath will probably be a little bit shorter overall too. Sure. These are the places to re-experience expansions as they once were, so why not turn seasonal World of Warcraft into something different, something entirely innovative with new content phases and regular updates? Why not go all in and do Classic Plus? Well, the pessimist will say it will cost money, time and effort to work on something new, so obviously that's not gonna happen, is it? And yeah,
I think it would probably cost less money to do classic content versus like retail WoW content. I mean, it's just lower poly, there's less stuff to do with the game is simpler. Why? Well, simply like you just don't have to make things as detailed.
Is going to be a part of that, to be honest. Why take an unnecessary risk when you can just re-release expansions that you know people will come back for? But I think there's actually more to it than that. There's a bigger picture of problems that need to be addressed if Classic Plus were to actually be taken seriously.
Okay,
and for me, these are my 3 biggest problems with Classic Plus. But first, a word from today's sponsor, Gemstone Legends, a high fantasy puzzle style RPG game rated 4.6 stars on Android and almost 5 on iOS. You can download the game and try for free using the link in the description or the QR code on screen. Gemstone Legends has a puzzle style element of game, but also hero collection with more than 200 heroes from 8 different factions and 5 different tiers. Every hero has a unique set of skills which can be a game changer for strategy for each battle. During the puzzle battles, you can use epic combo attacks in your tactical sense, solving match 3 puzzles, and conquering powerful monsters to build your empire. And there's dragons. Who doesn't like dragons? Gather clans as heroes and start an epic puzzle adventure in a high fantasy RPG open world. Fight in PvP modes and align with other dragon riders to compete in guild wars. There's even a Discord server where you can stay up to date with the game. I'm in the game under the nickname Will E. Download the game for free now on both Android and iOS and get started today by using the link in the description or the QR code on screen. You'll also get a special starter pack worth $50 by using my link, including 500,000 coins, 300 gems, 10 mana elixirs, 10 healing elixirs, and a 4-star hero, Annika. Many thanks to Gemstone Legends for sponsoring the video today. Back to WoW. The first point is, I've already done the content. Let me explain what I mean here. There was a time in World of Warcraft where it wasn't really known how far the game would go, what would be the next major content patch, and even whether there were going to be expansions. On a BlizzCon panel from 2007, I found something which really spoke to how Blizzard did content back then. Plan more than we can build, expect change, adapt. There wasn't just content ideas for the next patch or patch after that. There were just ideas that various devs wanted to be part of the game. Things which...
Yeah, I think that's... I mean, anybody could have seen that, because like, remember how they had like, you know, they had like the Dragon Isles in Classic WoW. They had like Karazhan Crypts. They had all of these things like Hyjal. Like, yeah, that's of course what happened. And then also, like, apparently they were supposed to have like some like Abyss raid that was underwater in Cataclysm, and that ended up just not happening.
they had worked
Emerald
upon and
Dream,
iterated upon. It was more of a question of where does this best fit within the game. After all, World of Warcraft in its early days had pretty heavy inspiration from the story of the RTS games to lean on. There were hours of cutscenes, cinematics and story twists to draw from. It just had to be the right time to introduce each one. In fact, in its early days, the level cap of vanilla was intended to be 70, and so much content that would be introduced with the expansion was either planned or actively was already being worked on.
Yeah,
Here's
they
another
already
bit from these
they had a vanilla WoW version of the Outland even.
BlizzCon 2007 panel. I know the quality's mega scuffed, I couldn't find better online unfortunately, but you can make out at the top that this was the
Dead
dungeon
Mines.
list as planned from
Jonathan
April
Keith.
2003, that's pre-vanilla launch, and right at the bottom you can see the Black Temple as the final dungeon. It wasn't that content was necessarily cut from vanilla, it just wasn't used, and it was waiting its turn. It's no wonder that Karazhan is located in Deadwind Pass, by the way, a strange place for an expansion raid to still be in vanilla, don't you think? This
I think that was
location and
good.
raid was in development long before TBC dropped. In fact, this dungeon would have almost put Blackrock Depths to shame, estimated in its earliest version to be as large as Lower Blackrock and Upper Blackrock Spire combined, and having a load time of 30 minutes. Tons of
Holy
work have been
fuck.
done on the interior, the layout, texturing, and I have to say the early versions, especially from the outside, look particularly ominous.
Yeah,
Not
that looks
forgetting
really
the
cool.
Karazhan crypts either,
I had no
a
idea
series
about
of
that. I'd never seen
spooky,
that before.
sprawling tunnels below the tower, housing endless stone walls and restless bones. Again, an area that had begun to be fleshed out from a level design point of
Yep.
view, and it was partially used during the Karazhan achievement in TBC, but never saw the proper light of day as its own piece of content. Mount Hyjal is
Yeah,
another
all of
one
this
to
stuff
highlight.
should be in Classic WoW, like Classic WoW Plus. Like, add all of this stuff, give us a Scarlet Crusade raid, stuff like this.
In vanilla, it had a raid instance portal connecting it to the Dark Whisper Gorge in southern Winterspring. It was another zone with a bunch of work that had been put into it, which just never released in vanilla. Again, we saw it in a lot more detail during the Burning Crusade as a raid, and eventually reimagined as a zone during Cataclysm. Even the Hellfire Peninsula had work put into it during
There it is.
vanilla.
Yep.
Again, it was planned to be a later game zone
I
that
like
would
those,
eventually ship with
those
TBC.
mushrooms.
You can see tons of landscaping and floating mushrooms dominating the area in these early
believe I just
screenshots. Though
lived
at some
that.
point it was decided that instead of more and more major content patches, there would be a full-on expansion. Many of these unused ideas were roped together and bundled up for World of Warcraft's first foray into a totally new world. This would release in 2007 as the Burning Crusade to a huge amount of success. And as we know now, Black Temple, Karazhan, and Mount Hyjal ended up being raiding content, and Hellfire Peninsula was the starting zone. I know this, and we all know this, because many of us have done them in TBC or TBC Classic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's what I mean when I say I've already done the content. Tons of things that were at an idea stage were later used in some form. Even the Dragon Isles were to
I think it wouldn't really be a big deal to do it over again if the game had a few little interesting nuances with leveling and it was a very dense and populated area where you could do dungeons and do other kinds of cool shit.
concept stage during vanilla, and that's just dropped as the latest retail expansion. The thing is, as much as I like Karazhan, do I want to do it again at 60 with the same layout and the same bosses
No.
and the same
No.
loot that I already know? I'm not really sure that I do. What if
Well, absolutely not. I mean, like, they would have to reimagine the entire thing. Like, obviously, you should have some of the same bosses. Like, Moros should be in the new Karazhan. Let's see. Like, I think a good example of this, right, is, like, they did already reimagine Karazhan. They did it in Legion. And I think the Legion reimagining of Karazhan, the Return to Karazhan raid, was fucking amazing. It was really well done. There were some things I didn't like about it, but overall, I thought it was really well designed. So it's like, we already have precedent of doing this and it being good. Just do it again.
Karazhan was different. Maybe that could work instead. During Legion, Blizzard reimagined Karazhan as a two-part mega dungeon, which kept aspects from the past while making it fit better into the newer game.
Exactly.
I think one of the draws of a Classic Plus for me isn't just seeing stuff that we come to see eventually, but more something new, unexplored. Hyjal, as it's set out in vanilla, has never been a zone, for example. What if that was to happen? If people came into a Classic Plus finally and just felt as though they had already done it and already seen it, that would be quite a letdown, I think.
Yeah.
The second point I want to get into is, where does the new content go? Where does it fit? This is kind of a tangent to the question of how would servers be released. I'm assuming if it would happen, they would be fresh, which makes the most sense to me. World of Warcraft is always fun when you start from square zero, but then you have to ask, if there is new content, where does the new stuff go? Imagine the scenario. Classic Plus is here. Fresh servers are out. Mega hype. New content, new class tuning, new dungeons, new raid,
Classic
new everything.
Plus hype.
Okay,
Classic
so
Plus
first
hype.
we have
True.
to get to level 60.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Before we get to level 60, are we going to be doing any new dungeons pre-60?
Yes, absolutely. They would have to reimagine a lot of the dungeons and make them more interesting. But also, like, not make them, like, I don't think that they should go and make Classic WoW harder. I think the reason why Classic WoW is popular is because it's not hard. Yeah, don't do that. Like, but make the dungeons more interesting, add in a few nuances to them, add in new loot, maybe a couple of optional hard mode bosses, kind of, like something similar to that, and just do that, and I think you'd be fine. That's all they really need to do.
I mean, what's the point, right? You don't replay dungeons again and again pre-60 unless they are the best for either XP or gold farming, which means the new content kinda has to be better than the existing content, or it's going to be instantly run one time by people questing and then not seen again. Does that...
Not necessarily. So, for example, if you added a couple of pieces of gear that increased your experience, and you could only get those pieces of gear inside of the dungeon, and it would increase your experience for, like, 20 levels or something until, like, they're, like you're level 40 and it's only level 20. I think that would get people to continue doing and farming the dungeons. Yeah, there are a lot of ways that you could make this work.
Warrant the development time when it could be put into something at endgame instead. What about a new zone? If it's for leveling it again, people will do it once per character, if it's worth doing. There are some gaps in vanilla questing, I will say that, so maybe there is space to beef up the leveling journey a little bit. How about raids? Imagine phase 1 is...
I think if they were going to beef up the leveling journey, what I'd want them to do is, like, kind of reimagine Deadwind Pass to be like in between, like, Duskwood, or like in between, like, Red Ridge Mountains and Duskwood, or in between Duskwood and Stranglethorn Vale. And just add in also, like, you don't even need to add in a new zone for leveling. Just add in better quests. Add in, like, 10 more quests in every zone. Yeah. Done. Add in rare spawns that give you a bunch of experience whenever you kill them.
There you go.
Add in something like that.
Just Molten Core and Elixir again. Okay, so how many months of that do we have to do before we get a new bit of content? What if there was a new raid and it came between Molten Core and Blackwing Lure? Well, it has to raise the bar for gear a little, so again, it's worth doing. Maybe if we throw in a few bis, weapons, trinkets, whatever it may be in there, that'll get people going back to it. But then suddenly, oh no, Blackwing Lure itself has come out, in addition to Molten Core, the new raid, and Elixir. And on a weekly basis, then you would be doing Elixir for the tier head and the quest turn-ins, Molten Core for Eye of Shadow, leaves, bindings, and all the other items in there, Blackwing Lure for your rejuve gems, your DFTs, and whatever else, and the new raid for the bis items in there too. That's a lot of raiding, but then AQ40s come out, and suddenly about 90% of the old gear is now irrelevant, but you're still going to have to do them on raid night because there's like 3 bis items which everyone in the game wants, because that's how classic itemization works. Until Nax is out, of course, and then your raid is tired of doing an entire world tour every week. Also, Nax gear is kind of an insane step up over everything else. And
Nax gear was disgusting. Like, it was just so much better than everything else that came before it. There was like a handful of pieces of gear before then that was better, but in general, it was fucking insane. I think that what they should really do is look at making a few more raids in between that, make more dungeons, Like having the baseline raiding gear, why don't you just change some of the gear? Change Shadow Strike. Change the mace, Finkel's mace from Molten Core. Change Spinal Reaper. Spinal Reaper is a garbage weapon. Nobody ever uses it. Well, then change it and make it something better. Add in new items that are more interesting. Yeah, make Vendor Strike useful. Exactly.
Vendor Strike.
That's vanilla with, hypothetically, only one more raid tier added. The alternative
Like,
is...
I think that, like, for example, right? Like, let's say you have a Scarlet Crusade raid, and after you get Corrupted Ashbringer, you then go and you can purify your Corrupted Ashbringer after you clear the Scarlet Crusade raid. That would be fucking awesome.
that new
Pretty
raids
good
are
idea.
added after Nax, which solves absolutely nothing. Because if servers are fresh, that's 12 or however many months of no new raid content up to Nax. And if it's not fresh, players will go into the new raid with 25 Biscued Warriors and absolutely delete it. And all the raid content prior to the newer
This is actually a very good point because, yeah, if you give people the ability to get a bunch of these characters geared out, you either have to design it to where you need 20 warriors, or you have to design it to where 20 warriors will clear the raid in 20 minutes. To just balance classes, I think they should do that. Like, I'm a very big advocate of balancing classes in a very subtle way in Classic Plus. I think they should already be experimenting in this right now. Like, for example, I think they should give Ret Paladins Crusader Strike. I think they should give, let's see, they should probably give Moonkins something to get more mana return or something like that. They should give Shadow Priest something that makes them a little bit more interesting, where it's like not like a debuff cap. Same as Affliction Warlocks. Yep. They need to make different specs more viable, and they also should balance the other specs and make them better.
Raids would also kind of be dead on arrival. So where does the new content fit here? That's the question I really don't have an answer for. Whatever happens, there would be very clear downsides to it, I think. But maybe just getting something new is worth it all the same. Those are my two main concerns so far. Number one, I've already done the content. Number two, where would the new content go? The number three for me is about how World of Warcraft content is consumed, how the game is designed, and the development time that goes into creating new things for the game. So if you've played World of Warcraft for a while, you'll know what the end of expansion life cycle looks like. Sometimes it's up to, or in certain cases, over 1 year of literally nothing new. With Classic, we know the devs are building the game on...
I think what they should do is they should look at what made RuneScape and OSRS have evergreen type content. And this is my opinion as somebody who is not an expert in this, but one of the things that made RuneScape and not EverQuest, I forgot the other example I was going to use. Oh yeah, Vanilla WoW. Like, look at why they were popular. Massive, super long quest lines. Things like the Mage Tower, where they have like that Inferno thing in OSRS, and like these different things that you have in the game, to where like these are pinnacles of accomplishment that you want to build your character up to be able to overcome. So it's not like just raiding; it's also like singular player overcoming content. And it's like you get gear from raiding, and then you use that to do like a Mage Tower type thing. Yeah, the Infernal Cape, right? And that's the kind of stuff that keeps the game alive. Yeah, good solo content. And again, like, I know this seems like really weird and like counterintuitive, but yes, I think solo content is super important for an MMO.
To a more modern system, and that unfortunately they can't just boot up Wrath of the Lich King.exe and it magically all works. Hence all the beta and PTR testing and brand new bugs and weird things going wrong occasionally.
My favorite part is whenever bugs from the original game happen, like auto attacking Saffron through the block, the ice block, and then the explosion's still killing you. This happened in Vanilla WoW, it happened in in Wrath, and it's still happening. I don't know how they can't fix this. I'll be right back.
And I've noticed that the more WoW expansions have gone on, there tends to be more and more lead time between the new major patches. Whatever's going on in the background, it's just taking more time. On top of this, World of Warcraft content has a very short life cycle, and this is much more noticeable in the earlier versions of the game. This is what happens when you progress vertically as new content is stacked on top of one another. I will say this was less the case during vanilla. You wanted to go back and do the old raids, but in TBC and especially Wrath, there's just a lot more of do the current tier and then you're kind of done for the week. Add on top,
I've always thought that it was good for older raids to still have some good items. There's always going to be like a negative and a positive with almost everything, but in general, I think that's a good thing.
for this that the content being added has to raise the bar in one way or another, or it just won't be worth doing. And if there's something new, they have to make sure it's actually worth going to. I see many cases where Classic Pluses mention that Blizzard should take inspiration from the success of Jagex with old school RuneScape,
Yes.
which in theory is great. It's proof that new content can keep a game fresh and bring a whole new player base into the game and interested for years to come. But the similarities between old school RuneScape and World of Warcraft stop at them being called MMORPGs. If Molten Core was a raid in old school RuneScape, you'd have to defeat 40 servants of the Fire Lord outside of the instance before you could gain access. Each time you will be able to solo it, all the good drops will be 100 times rarer, everything will be tradable, the auction house is global, there's no weekly reset, and you can just spam it non-stop, and you would be able to do it with a team if you wanted. On top of that, old school RuneScape
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. I agree.
RuneScape doesn't really even have a concept of endgame which is clearly defined. You don't get level cap, then start playing. The actual cap in terms of having every skill at maximum level is not something many people have. Content there can remain relevant for years as nearly all gear is tradable. You still have reasons to go back like gold farming, collection logs, Iron Man accounts where they can't trade and so on and so forth. And leveling there takes considerably longer, so people do invest in different tiers of gear and you're going to be getting so much more use out of them. An example of this is within 1 year of launching, Jagex realized that old school RuneScape wasn't going to survive off pure nostalgia, and they started releasing brand new content. One of the first big new updates was in January 2015. This was about 2 years after launch. This was Zulrah, yes.
Again, solo content. Like solo content that players in MMOs can benchmark themselves and say, I'm better than you because I can beat this guy and you can't.
Zulrah is 8 years old, a solo boss that added a bunch of new items and mechanics to the game. Today, it still drops items that people would want to chase, and it's an okay gold farm, but it has been nerfed many times over. The point is, this is true across so many of RuneScape's updates. When Ulduar drops in Wrath, am I gonna do tier 7 again? Realistically, I think so, yeah, I'll still be doing Malagos and Sartharian's Lair, but just not full clears anymore. I haven't done a single Burning Crusade raid during Wrath, and during TBC, I didn't do a single full Classic raid either. It's just...
I don't think you should have to. I think that expansions are resets. I think in general, you should be able to use the gear at the end of the expansion to progress in the raid in the new expansion. Kind of like how Burning Crusade, like Vanilla went into Burning Crusade. But I don't think that you should have to go back and raid ZG or something like that when it's Burning Crusade, unless you're looking for a mount.
It's not how World of Warcraft works. There's very little reason to go back.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a few mounts such as Rivendare's Death Charger from Stratum Dead, or these Zul'Gurub mounts that may be worth chasing for some collectors, but in the latter example, not even every class in the game can physically do that. I think you can start to see why Blizzard put Transmog in the game and made old raids soloable. Keeping old content relevant is something that Blizzard has, in the grand scheme of things, recently made significant improvements too. There's Chromie time, pick any expansion you want to level in. Baited raids, go back and do previous raids from the expansion in a different way.
Oh my god, bro, y'all remember this fucking shit? It's like, why did they hit the Barghast stats? Why did they hit the Barghast ads? Like I said, don't hit the Barghast ads. But there's 2 dots on the ads. How did they get there? I thought we said not to do that. What?
Why does it have corruption on it? Like, that was the most upsetting fucking shit, man. I was so mad. We never cleared this either.
Time walking, go into old dungeons or raid, collect resources, buy
we did this
collectibles,
today.
adding pets to old raids, adjusting tuning so old raids can be soloed for collections, and so on. I just can't help but think Classic Plus is going to have a big dead content problem due to how content rolls out during the early versions of WoW and how fast players
Rebalance the gear. Problem solved. Yeah, just rebalance the fucking gear. That's all you have to do.
get through it all. Again, I'd love to hear suggestions on this. All that being said, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Classic Plus in the game as a real thing and for Blizzard to take this in a whole new direction. And whilst the whole it'll take money so they won't do it thing definitely has something to it, I think there's a lot more important things to be answered than just that. For Classic Plus to really work, it might not just be about adding the new content, but entirely rethinking the formula that makes people actually like Classic in the first place. Thanks once again to Gemstone Legends for sponsoring today. You can check it out via the link in the description or the QR code on screen. Let me know your thoughts on the 3 points I've gone over. Is there a clear answer out there to this, or is it going to involve a lot of compromising? In any event, thank you so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.
I think what they need to do is they need to make a PTR and they need to start shooting. Just start putting ideas out there. Put something out there, it's fucking stupid. See how people respond. If they don't like it, delete it. That's it. Still waiting for Season of Mastery 2. It needs to be way different from Classic. Yeah, I know. Like, the reason why I didn't play Season of Mastery 1 is because why the fuck do I want to go and play a harder version of Molten Core to get the same belt? It's the same belt. I already had this belt. It was easier. Now it's the same fucking belt. Like, give it more stats. Give it something like that. Like, give us an ability to change. Like, for example, like, what if they had... what if Shadow Strike did shadow damage? What if Thunder Strike did lightning damage? Or nature damage? That's too far? Just, yeah, okay, then let's see how far can it go. Let's find out. Yeah, what does that mean? What does too far mean? Let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, melee mages. Yeah. Let's get some weird shit up in this bitch.
Melee mages.
Let's have a little bit of fun.
No.
That's the way I see it, man. What do you think about seasonal abyss? Accommodate gear 2 or 3 per week? I don't know. It depends on what it is. They're so scared to change the game fundamentally. Yeah, let's get fucking weird. There it is. I totally fucking agree, man. Absolutely. That's what Ascension WoW does. Yeah, just, bro, like, that's all they need to do. Just, like, look at some of these, like, Ascension WoW, Turtle WoW. Like, we all know what they are. Blizzard knows what they are, too. Just see what they do. See what the things that players, like, respond to. And just be like, just message and be like, hey, can you guys send us, like, your fucking, like, your reports on, like, how many people are doing the content, just so, you know, for us to know. And I bet they would probably do it. Yeah, why wouldn't they? Because a lot of the people that make Turtle WoW and shit, they probably want Blizzard to make a Classic Plus. It's not like they hate the game.
For sure.
They just don't like where the game is.
Feared them right into more mobs.
Turtle WoW, so many ideas from beta were removed and made new dungeons and raids. Yeah. What about all old content being current item level, but you can't do it in a current raid? I don't know about that. Turtle WoW does an awesome job with creating Classic Plus. Yeah, just do the same thing. The issue with Blizzard doing Classic Plus is that it would cost more than $0 to develop. That is a problem. Turtle WoW is already done. This has been one of the best, most fun times I've had in the game, on par with how much fun I had whenever I experienced the game in 2007. Yeah, just take what they do and do it. It's that simple. Take the stuff that they do that works and put that in the game and then build off of that. Problem solved. Introduce a heroic mode and do some class tuning? Yes, I think that they should absolutely do class tuning. Siege of Nomergon? Yeah, there you go. Let's have to see how far it goes. Yeah. Like, That's why I want to see doped Olympics. Let's see the human body on enhancing drugs push the boundaries. Yeah, except for nobody has to die on this. We just get to play the game and like do a little bit more damage. Like it's totally fine. I don't know, man. Like I'm just hoping something fun happens with Classic WoW. I like Classic WoW a lot, but I wish that there was more to do. And there was like something new to look forward to. To have something like the Ascension private server with resources like Blizzard has? Yeah, exactly, man. Huge potential in this. Yeah, I think Classic Plus has more potential than retail WoW. In the long term, I think it does. The reason why is because retail WoW is like 0 updates, 18 months, it's growing. Oh yeah, we'll watch this. I'm not gonna watch it today. I'll watch it probably like later on. The Wrath Plus. I think that they should do Vanilla Plus. Because in Vanilla WoW, you actually went out in the world.
True.
That, to me, is super fucking important. And if you don't have a reason to go out into the world, you've already lost. You're just and this is what I think happened with, like, Burning Crusade, is that you had the world like this, and then it became... This is the world, and now this is the world. And this is Outland. And then whenever Wrath came out, they said, okay, now this is the world, and this is Northrend. And all of this is deleted. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about it. Wrath is just sitting on Dalaran waiting for raids? Yes. And that's not very good. Problem is, the long travel was boring. That's true. I do, however, think that it was fun going around and getting world buffs in Classic WoW. I absolutely think so. I think collecting the consumables and stuff like that is great. And I think you could get rid of a lot of the friction. And yes, I know people are going to be upset about this, but I think that if you take world buffs out of Classic WoW, you take the world out of Classic WoW. The reason why most people went around to do different things was to get world buffs. When did you go out into the open world? For world buffs. That's the reason. Remember the thrill of Ashenvale? Open world PP was amazing. I miss it. Yeah. Is this a bad take, Asmund? No, it's not. What is it? Why is it bad? You know, for an Nixion to teach us dragon flying in Classic? Yeah, there you go.
No.
Really shitty chores shouldn't be what's forcing you out into the world.
Flying in Classic.
I don't know. I don't think world buffs are as bad as people make them out to be. I think also that's why Season of Mastery was also boring, is because people liked being able to blow up the bosses and raid in 2 hours and then be done with it, and then still be progressed and like have like competitive gear.
I like that idea.
Redesign world buffs? Yeah, exactly. Let's go out to Andy. I like your world buff Chrono Boon idea. Just store everything and use it at will. Exactly. If world buffs are the only reason to go out into the world itself sucks. It's not that it sucks. It's just that the content doesn't suck because people don't do it. People don't do things because they're not min-maxed. That's why. People always do things because they are efficient. You always say take things out of games that are not fun. World buffs are not fun. Being required to log into the game at times not to play, but to get ready for the next time a raid was not good. Okay, so I actually think that raiding with world buffs was fun. I will go out and I will say it. I think that it was fun to go in there, Omega buffed, and fucking destroy the bosses. 100%, man. And yes, I do think that it was stupid that you had to sit there and fucking buff your character and you couldn't raid. Obviously, that was bad. But that is an acquisition problem, not a world buff problem. Getting them was not fun. Then change the way you get them.
Yes.
Like, for example, yes, purging world buffs is garbage. Just make it so you can't do that. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep them after death? Sure. Yeah, why not? Yeah, wiping became 10x worse with world buffs, then make them persist through death.
Too easy.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Not a problem at all.
If you go that dedicated summoners, it's not too bad to get them and risk-free. Nothing's really risk-free, but yeah. Sorry, one fall with world buffs was the way it forced you to play after getting them. Yeah, I think world buffs should be a consumable.
There you go.
How many MMOs have world buffs these days? Pretty much none of them. But I think that the issue that going out in the world would have, and I think also like giving people more quest lines like Scepter of the Shifting Sands would also get people to go out into the world if the rewards were very good. Yeah, I'm not sure how many other games have world buffs. I have no idea. But I'm just talking about classic WoW. It's funny having to watch out for purgers in the city being flagged for PvP. Really? I don't know. I thought that was stupid. And I mean, even like, I mean, Kevin Jordan, original WoW dev, like said that wasn't really intended. It was just like an oversight. So it's not like this is some sort of like grand design of the game. I think purging people's world buffs and stuff like that are annoying.
Well, a good video. It was a good video. I think Classic Plus is great idea. I think it could revitalize the game in much in the same way as Classic Hardcore is breathing new life. I mean, look, man, like anyone heading into Skull Rock, like everybody, you cannot go into that damn cave by yourself, bro. You have to have a group or you will die. I know from personal experience, you will fucking die. The respawns are way too fast, and you will die. That's just all there is to it. You better not fucking take my chest, bro. Telling you. Telling you right now, dog. My chest. Mm. Crap about that Dardanasian blue. Let's get stay there. Yeah. Everything else I have sells for more. Loving all this linen cloth, man. Pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop all these scrolls. All the stuff I used to just sell to vendors, man. Like now I totally use it. All right, we're getting close to 13. We're going to move to the Barrens here shortly. We grinded, what, 2 levels here? About to move on and actually go do some quests and all kinds of fun stuff. Looking for something. I thought I picked up a one-hander. I can't even use swords. No damn ways. Can I use daggers and staves? Maybe just even daggers, huh? Let's see. What do I have for skills? Wands, daggers. All right. Stam dagger would be really good. Level 5. An adult plane strider. Is dude trying to run to org or what? What the hell? What are you doing over in the Barrens, dude? Makes sense. Know that it takes an absolutely long time to just grind the level, but man, it's so worth it. I know that we're moving at a super slow pace here, but all this linen cloth, all this like resources that we're getting, a couple of greens, and be able to sell some of this stuff in the auction house. It'd be super lucrative. Ding. Plans. Hey, this thing is almost instant cast now. It's cool. So funny to me that you have to actually put talent points in there to make corruption insta cast. Hilarious. Bags are filling up way faster now. Maybe time to move on. We'll go sell some stuff and go try to do some quests in the Barrens, maybe. Maybe not. I'm getting a little tired here. Back's bothering me a lot lately. I just have to go take a break. Mm, Maybe time to take a little break. Maybe I jump back on a little later. Getting pretty sleepy here. Almost 60 more cloth there, man. Good little run. Almost another 30 bolts of linen there. It's like a lot to get through all the enchanting stuff. That's the problem, is like I don't really want to craft all the gear to just disenchant it, but disenchanting materials also sell for quite a bit. Thought I had picked up another thing. Oh, I didn't even notice I got this. Red linen robe. Nobody wants this. Like, it's only worth 10 more copper on the auction house. Isn't it trying to do all that? What is this? Red linen robe. This is pretty cheap to make. White linen robe. Yeah, it's the same. I had to make a lot of them. Get my enchanting skill up. Once I can make the greater magic wand, be able to take things down even faster. Two red dye and two coarse thread. That might be a good one to get some enchanting mats off of. You got red dye, sir? Oh my gosh. Maybe not. How much is bleach? White linen robe. Bleach is cheaper. Yeah, let's get 10 of these. Let's get 10 of these. And we'll make 10. Disenchant them down and see what happens. right, buddy. Huskies are some of the most loving dogs, man. Pretty crazy. Oh, cool. I actually get enchanting skill by disenchanting stuff. Well, that's worth. Getting a whole bunch of strange dust here. Okay. Well, let's make like 5 more, maybe. See if we get anything else. They're not wasting any of this stuff. I mean, I would like to be getting skill points with tailoring while I'm going, but where we're getting ready to go, I'm probably going to have a higher chance of getting more linen and higher mobs, higher level mobs. So we'll burn off some of this stuff. Oh, we just got strange dust, huh? That sucks. That's not too bad, I guess. Then we could just continue to do this. Oh, sorry, chest. Enchant the chest. I think I actually get something at 40. I think that's what I remember saying is like I had to get all the way to 40 in order to get the next thing. But we just keep going until it turns yellow. Probably at 45. Much. Classic was such a waste. Could be putting all this shit on scrolls and putting it in the auction house, but no. Just got to repeatedly enchant my own shit. Either that or find people to do it for, but oh well, it's gonna go all the way. I really didn't think it would. We'll get to 50 on this. I'll run to org. Actually, I could just hearth, huh? Yeah, I did change it finally. Unlike when I failed miserably last night when I thought that I had my hearth set to org and I hit it and I go back to the Valley of Trials. Oh my gosh. Like, still there? Okay. Just keep on going, I guess. Maybe it caps out at 55. Let's see. Wow, dude. Wow, I'm actually like super impressed. We're still chugging. If we could get to 70, man, like, I ain't got enough material for that though. I think I'll stop it at 60. I didn't think it would get that high. It's actually kind of impressive. I don't think you get any more skill points though. I think you only get up to like 40 or some shit. Oh my gosh, man, it will still go. Yeah, I need to make another thing. Disenchant it. That way I could, when I go back, I could just make my new wand. So yeah, I bet it turns yellow. Ah, be damned, dude. Wow. It'll be able to go all the way to 70. Fantastic. Oof. Level 27 in Hillsbred Foothills. Did. There's two level 27s back to back, man. A shaman and a rogue. Ouch. 27 is quite a lot of time invested. I mean, up 13, man, I'd be pissed. Let's see. How long did it take me? 8 hours and 26 minutes. So it seems like no matter what, man, whether you're questing or grinding, it's about the same time. So we're at 90 tailoring and 70 enchanting. 70 enchanting, I think, gets me to Greater Magic Wand, which is going to be a huge upgrade over this bad boy. And I know I could just go in the auction house, probably purchase it, but it's not the point. Well, I said I was going to hurt, didn't I? Body's just so used to working graveyard hours, man, that I just get so incredibly tired during the day. Like, it's not even funny. I want to stay up, but my kids and everybody, wife's at work. I really don't have any reason to stay up except just to stay up for the sake of being up. Whereas I could probably go get some rest and feel much better for when they get home. So when I sleep at night, man, I don't think I sleep very well. I do have sleep apnea that's not controlled because I broke my CPAP machine a long time ago. So I have redeemed myself somewhat. Donation. Let's see. Do you have anything for me, sir? Oh, yes. Quite a few things, actually. Boots. Wonderful. Gloves. And a cloak. Oh, what we got here? Heavy woolen gloves, soft. We need some light leather. I gotta find out where to get some wool cloth, man. That's the next thing to go grind. Purchase a couple light leather so I can make those boots. Goodness gracious, man. We'll be able to actually make some gear. Great, 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 great. Okay, go this way. Maybe another level or two. Maybe we might actually try to find a group for Ragefire Chasm. Need to make my way over to... Ooh, what's this? Spell damage by up to 8? What? That sounds amazing. I want that. Just minor mana. Yeah. 16 slot enchanting bag. What you got for me, dude? Oh, yes. Buy this one first, and we'll buy them all. We'll buy them all. What do we got here? What do we need for this? Greater Magic Essence. I need one more. And a piece of simple wood. Do I just buy it from here? Yeah, I just buy it from here. And we'll make the wand. $17.5. Oh man, huge damage increase. Huge damage increase. Very nice. Yep. Good, 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 good. And actually, I could. Is there expert enchanter? Yep, he's right here. Broke again. So crazy, dude. Oh my gosh, you gotta love classic. Enchant bracers, enchant. Oh, here we go. Enchant cloak. How much is it to make this? Auction 5 gold. People are crazy. Minor wizard oil, maple seed, and an empty vial. Here's the deal: is like, can I sell those on the auction house? Because I feel like I could make, I feel like I could make some money on that. I have to get some vials and some maple seeds apparently, so I can make some wizard oil. I actually make this dagger worthwhile until I pick something up. Health by 15. So it has a 2% chance per hit of giving you 10 points of damage absorption. That's an interesting little read there. Interesting how that works. 32 Orc Warrior. Wow. Dude's been grinding, sir. Amazon. Funny. Good job. Good name. Light leather. Oh my gosh, it's less. It's selling at the auction house less than it sells to the vendor. What are they doing? Oh, he's got it on bid. Why? dude. Item was not found. What do you mean? Oh my gosh, they're resetting the price. And I just need 2 pieces. Oh, we just watched it reset right before our very eyes. Oh well. I'll pay a little more. I just want my damn boots. That's how people are making a grip, man. I need to take a look at what this stuff sells for. I bet it's pretty good. Make these boots. 2 stam, 2 intellect, man. Yes, 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 yes. We're getting some stats. Yes, sir. Let's take a look. I love it when you can craft your own stuff, man. So cool. 2 intellect, 2 spirit. They're good. 3 intellect cloak. That'll be great. Make those woolen bags. Fantastic too. I'm just interested. If I were to post up, let's see. Saying it's auctioning for 51 copper. I think it's going for more than that. I don't think that those prices are right. I just want to see. Bolt of aluminum cloth, can't even post it up. Fine thread. Post that. Post this. Rough stone. Sure. Copper ore. Sure. Linen's going for 22 copper a piece. Skip that. It's going for that much. Let's see. Oh yeah, dude. Any of that stuff for to sell. Little 9 silver action there. I really thought that I'd be able to post the bolts. I guess not. Tell you what we can do for now. We're gonna actually throw some stuff into the bank. Carrying a lot of this stuff around for a while. Throw a soul shard in there too. Oh my gosh, look at this. Still got Gut Ripper. That's a nice weapon. Level 40 epic. Wounds the target for 95 to 121 damage. Chance on hit. Want to buy it. 8 gold. Says minimum buyout 89 gold. That's so funny. Ain't nobody got 89 gold, bro. Oh, my Skull Protection sold? What? It sold for like 25 copper to the vendor, man. I made like almost 3 times on that. That's cool. Wow. Ooh, level 18. Man, oh man. Yeah, 18 warrior. Poor guy. Sucks, dude. I think vendors for 5 silver? What should it cost for me to make it? Simple wood and lesser magic essence. All my stuff is selling, dude. Nice. How much are lesser magic essence is going for? Wait a second now. I think simple wood's like 38 copper. Browse. I gotta use WoW UI, man. I don't know why it doesn't do it. Okay, lesser essence. Chunk of boar meat sold. Oh my gosh, dude, 27 copper apiece. Yeah, so this is more than what the sales for to the vendor. Silver 59. And greater magic wand is a greater magic essence. Oh. Oops. Greater magic. 15 silver apiece. This thing sells for 15.35. It's like right at cost. This guy's got the market cornered. I just want to see like how much. But there's just a huge amount of competition, man. Let's just take a look at what's in the auction house. Let's go with, oh my gosh, look at that. Elemental mage staff, bro. Just got 1,222 gold, bro. Who's got the gold for this stuff? Chance on hit to slow the enemy's movement. That's awesome. Kang the Decapitator. Titans. Nightblade. Ooh, it's Staff of Jordan, sir. 11 int, 11 spirit, 26. Ooh. That's a beautiful staff. Like Duskwood staff. A lot of cool stuff already, man. Auction house is actually very full. It's very active. Vicious hammer plus 34 attack power. It's actually huge. Selling lesser magic wands. Ooh, fire wand. Small silk packs for 5 gold? Oh my gosh. Shadow wand. Greater magic wand's still better than all of that shit. How many duplicates of the same shit everywhere? It's because everybody's leveling. Greater magic wands. Oh, well, yeah, these sell. 20 silver. 16. This is still good. This is still a good profit. Making a silver over what you would sell it to the vendor for. Actually, pretty impressed. You know, all this stuff sold, man, like almost instantaneously. I know it ain't much, man, but every little bit helps. You can see how expensive it is to get stuff from the. Oh my gosh, dude, this guy's got whirlwind axe. I'm like so surprised he was able to do the quest. That guy's good. Oh no, it's Executioner's Cleaver. I thought it was Whirlwind Axe. Dumb. 50 stopwatch. It's actually a really good item. Like a nice get out of jail free. Raging Berserker helm. Man, this dude's got gear, bro. Wow. Impressive. Impressive. Check on the bank. Let's see if any of the stuff I sent over is here yet. One thing is, all right. Best spell power belt 50 plus, or spirit 13. Yeah, man, it's good. Minor run speed increase. Very nice. Let's see. Oh, it says 19 silver for that bad boy. Man, if that sells, that'll really help. Really help. We got 40 silver on the bank too. Dude, where's my res? Sure. How's join? Good old Shamanamana. See, I don't think there's anything crazy in here. go see. Throw anything up in the auction house. Anything that's worthwhile. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Yep. All right. See if any of that stuff sells. Seems to be like raw materials seem to be selling pretty good, man. Not exactly. See, shaman tanks, dude. Yes. Yes. So I need to be looking for a dagger. Probably. Meteor shard. Infiltrator pants. How cool, dude. This guy's got the right idea. I want to be a shaman tank too. I'm gonna do it. Alright, so we got 2 level 13s. I smell jerkin. 24 spirit on that's actually really nice. It's not a bad piece. Frenzied Striker. Interesting to have parry on a two-hander. Chance to hit by 2%, man. It's actually huge. It's good. It's a good piece. All right, so far we died at 9.5. We died at 13. I have a shaman at 13. I have a warlock at 13. Well, if there's any more screw ups, the very next character is going to be a warrior. I'll have to change over to probably orc, I think, because I'm going to play horde. I'm not going to do any alliance tunes. I'm going to play horde. But yeah, I think I'm going to take myself a little nap. But with that being said, my name is Ranger. I am the Trash Gamer, and I'm out.